Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Vibrantly Healthy Mom Show today. We are going to be talking all about navigating your food choices even when you're in a hurry. But before we dive into that, I want to introduce myself. My name is Laura Bostrom. For those of you who have not been here before, I'm glad to have you here, and I would love to have you comment below. Tell me where you are tuning in from. Simply give me a thumbs up or a heart just to let me know you stopped by. And I'm going to encourage you to stick around to the end because we're going to have a little bit of fun today at the end. Who loves a giveaway? I always do. It's always fun. So we're going to have a little fun at the very end. So you'll want to make sure that you're here as we finish up so you can participate in that. So our topic today is all about food. Like what shall I eat? Every day we get up, we have the responsibility of feeding our bodies. But why? Well, food is our fuel. Just like a car requires gas to drive, right? You can't just go get in your car without gas and get anywhere. You have to put gas in it. And water's not going to do, or vegetable oil's not going to do to get that car going, is it? Nope, absolutely not. It requires a very specific type of liquid in it to make it go, and so do our bodies. It's super easy to take food for granted, to simply think that the purpose of it is to take care of our hunger pains. So when we're hungry, it's like, I got to get food in me. I'm so hungry. I have a craving or whatever. And we can very easily forget why it is that we're eating in the first place. So our body just like works within it, and all these things happen automatically, and we're not even necessarily aware of what's going on. We just go about our lives and just assume that those things are going to keep on functioning. But the problem is if we are not giving our bodies the proper nutrients in order to help those different systems work right, they're just not going to. They'll give up. So our food is far more than just taking away the feeling of a growling stomach. It goes way beyond that. It is all about making our bodies run as effectively and energetically as they possibly can. And as moms, who needs more energy than a mom? Hello, Silviana. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. I love seeing you here. It is great to have you. And yes, your dietary downfall, grabbing anything quick to eat. That is so true. When we're hungry, when we let ourselves get to that point where we are hungry, then we've kind of gone too far over, and then it's so easy, just like Silvana said, to just grab the closest thing to stuff in our mouth to satisfy that hunger. So it's important for us to think carefully, just like we are when we are driving our car and we see that gas tank starting to get down. We don't wait till it's on empty and we're like sitting at the side of the road. Well, maybe sometimes that happens, but we don't intend to have that happen where we run out of gas and we're at the side of the road and it's like, now what, and then we got to call for help. So our bodies, it's important to plan ahead so that we are not all of a sudden running on empty, starved, and then we are left to just grabbing whatever is the quickest thing to satisfy our hunger. So think of the food that you are eating as your fuel. It's what makes your body run the best that it can. And I don't mean literally running, although it can help with that too. But it makes all of the systems within the body work in the way that they are supposed to. So it's our responsibility to make sure that we are putting in the proper nutrients, the proper food that's going to help to sustain us and make us go. Now, the question probably comes up for you, as it does for most people, is which diet is right for me? I mean, how should I be eating? I mean, there are so many different diets out there, from vegan, vegetarian, paleo. What is that new one? I am trying to remember what it's called. I don't want to say Zoom. Zoom comes to my mind. We use Zoom for everything these days, but there's a diet that is Noom, the Noom diet, I believe it is. But there are so many diets, even like a raw food diet. So which one is right for you? Well, that is something that you have to figure out. Everybody is different. So there's not like a one diet fits all type of diet. Everybody's body is a little bit different. So what's going to work for one person is not going to work for the next necessarily. And I am a perfect example of that. Several years ago, when I was suffering with chronic health issues, there was a doctor I went to, and he put every single one of his patients on a vegan diet. Now, the vegan diet is fantastic for the right people, but I found out pretty quickly it wasn't right for me. The problem is I didn't tune into my body and pay attention to the signals that it was giving me that this was not right. And maybe it was because I was going to this doctor and he was the one that told me to do it. So I thought, okay, I just have to keep doing this because this is what he said. I was on that diet for 2 whole years, a vegan diet, and a lot of it was raw. Great, fantastic food. But what my body needed so desperately was meat. My body needed that. Yours might not. But I ended up at another doctor's office who ran some blood tests and discovered that I had 0 amino acids. Now, amino acids are super important. They're the building blocks of, the things in the body, like the proteins and all of that. And I needed a protein that was going to work for my body. So you have to determine what is best for you. And we all need protein, but the right kind of protein is something that for you, the right kind of protein for you is something that you have to determine. One of the things I always do with my clients is to take them through this little experiment for them to discover which kind of protein is best for them. It takes about 4 days, and we go through that process, and they are able to tune in and discover what works best for them in getting protein, because protein is essential for the body, so you have to be getting it. And for some people, getting them through legumes and all of that through a vegan, vegetarian diet is perfect for them. For me, it's not. For me, I eat a paleo diet. That's perfect for me, and I thrive on that. So which diet is right for you? That is something that you're going to have to play around with and experiment to determine what is the best diet for you specifically. Now, in general, what kinds of foods should we be avoiding? That's a great question. And really, when it comes down to your foods that you're eating, I encourage you to avoid processed packaged foods as much as possible. Now, sure, there's going to be times where we all grab something like that and eat that, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up over that, okay? Because if we make it so difficult for ourselves that we can't sustain whatever way of eating we have set out for ourselves, then we're going to end up failing, and we're going to just feel like we might as well give up. So little treats here and there are fine, but as a general rule goes, I would encourage you to stay away from the processed packaged foods. Think about flours. If you use different kinds of whole, flours, you want to use whole grain. You don't want to use the stuff that's bleached white flour. I mean, they're just nasty for you, and there's so many nutrients that have been taken out. So, sugars are a huge downfall to the body. They are not good for us. So sugars, white flours, packaged processed foods are all things that should be avoided. And things that we want to make sure that we are getting are things like proteins. We need to get fiber. We need to get healthy fats. I love to add coconut oil to my smoothies every day because I know that I'm getting a healthy fat in my body that it needs. I take a fish oil supplement because I know that those omega oils are so good for my body and helping it to function properly. So make sure that you are, very well aware of the things that you want to avoid and the things that you want to make sure that you're getting in your diet. And that is not a complete exhaustive list, just some different specifics on some things. I would also alert you to the whole fact that there are some foods that should be good foods, but because of what happens to them on a lot of the farm fields, they are not good for us because they end up being chemically heavily laden by pesticides and things of that nature, fertilizers that are not natural. So eating organic as much as you can is important. And I would Google the Dirty Dozen. You will find out what the top dozen produce items are that are things that you want to avoid. So knowing what the Dirty Dozen are, those can be at least the things that you are avoiding. So for example, number 1 on the list has been for a long time are strawberries. I never buy strawberries unless they are organic. I eat strawberries every day, and I don't want to be putting those chemicals into my body every single day. So look up Dirty Dozen and you will find that list online, and you can follow that as well. So, how in the world do you eat healthy foods when you don't have much time? Now, that is a question that I know comes up for moms all the time, because face it, moms are busy. We have so much to do as moms. It's just like there's no time for yourself, right? I remember when our 6 boys were young, and I did well to like take a shower, because there's like laundry to do, cooking to do, faces to wipe off after they eat, dishes to wash, meal planning, grocery shopping, cleaning the house, making the beds, washing the sheets. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I don't know any other job out there that requires people to be on call 24/7 quite like a mom. I mean, even a doctor gets a vacation, even when he's on call, 24 hours a day. So moms are busy, and there's not a lot of time. So I have a few tips for you today of things that I have found to work really well for me as a busy mom. And yes, my boys are grown now, but I'm busy in other ways. And so I still apply some of these same principles. So first of all, something I always encourage people to do is to eat whole foods. Okay, and what do I mean by whole foods? I mean foods as they like grow in nature, like how they actually come. These are foods that are minimally processed, and they're just like apples, oranges, a piece of meat, fish. I mean, whole foods, nuts, legumes. The thing about whole foods is they're right there. They're all set to eat. You can grab an apple and eat it just as is. You need to wash it first, but the apple, they're so convenient. You don't have to like whip together some like recipe. You can just grab these whole foods and eat them. One of my favorite things to have with me when I'm on the go, and I know that I'm going to get hungry, are nuts. I love raw almonds, and I also love like roasted salted cashews. I love almond butter. I mean, you can take like an apple and put almond butter on it, and it's so satisfying. And you're getting protein, and you're satisfying those hunger pangs, and you're eating something that's healthy. And guess what? They're whole foods. Almond butter, my almond butter, all it is that's in that jar is almonds. That's it, just almonds. And I like to add a little bit of sea salt to it, just because the almond butter I buy doesn't have any salt in it, and I like the taste of salt. So I just eat in a couple of whole foods when I do something like that. Also, grocery shopping. When you grocery shop, shopping the perimeter of the store is where you're going to find most of those great whole foods. It can make shopping quicker. You don't have to go up and down all the aisles. You can just go around the perimeter of the store. And that's where I do most of my shopping. There are occasionally, something I need, like some sea salt or something like that, and I have to, hop down an aisle for that, but I know right where it is, and I can grab it quickly. And I encourage you to check out produce delivery type things in your area. Several years ago, I was a part of, I believe it was called Annie's Organic Produce or something like that. And once a week, we would get a shipment. It was brought to one person's house, and they would divide it up, and we always got the produce that was in season. And it was so much fun to see what was in that box. And here's the thing, I could spend one period of time where I would wash it all and prep it so that it was all ready to go for the rest of the week. So I had one prep time, and that was it. And then those things were there ready to go and grab when I needed them. Because the preparation time is what makes it take so much time for us. And that's the time that we don't have as moms. So if you can block out a period of time where, whether you like join a buying club like I was a part of, or you go grocery shopping and bring your things home, plan your meals out for the week so that you know exactly what you're having. And cooking does not need to be complicated. There's this quote, and I don't know if I can pull it up here quickly. I just posted it this week, but it is a quote by Julia. Hold on just a moment, and I'm going to pull that up because I love it, and I think that she's just spot on. Okay, here we go. I'm almost there. Okay, Julia Child, who was an amazing cook. I mean, she just like did gourmet, like fancy kind of cooking. And here's what she said. She said, you don't have to cook fancy or complicated masterpieces, just good food from fresh ingredients. And when you're cooking with whole foods, fruits and vegetables and meats and things of that nature, and spices, herbs, and things like that, They're all pretty basic things, and you don't have to have some complicated recipe to throw together. I mean, gosh, you can just take some chicken and throw some, like some avocado oil on it and sprinkle some spices on it and throw it in the oven, and that's fast. Throw some vegetables on top of the stove and cook them. It can be quicker than what we think that it needs to be. The other thing that I have done for years is I look for things that go on sale at the store, like chicken breasts, for example. And I'll buy a whole bunch of them when they're like, those BOGO deals, and I'll bring them home and I'll get this big old pot and I'll cook them all together at the same time. And I've done like as many as like 20 packages, so that's 40 chicken breasts. So I have a really big pot. Cook them all up and then let them cool a little bit, and then I cut them up and I shred them, and then I put them in the freezer. I lay them out on a cookie sheet to freeze them a little bit so that they're not all sticking together. Throw them in some containers, and then I have got things like that, the meat all ready to go if I'm going to make some type of healthy casserole for my family. I don't have to take the time to cook the meat then. That saves time, and we're eating something that is good for us. So as much as you can, plan things out, and I found it helpful to do that a week at a time. I know some people that have planned out their entire month and done food prep for an entire month. I forget what that's called. I was never one of those people that felt like I was gifted and able to do that. It seemed overwhelming. But 1 week at a time is what worked best for me. So find what works for you. And one of my all-time favorites that I want to share with you is what I do to this day, and that is make myself a smoothie, either for breakfast or lunch. I typically do it for lunch. And what I love about this is it's super fast, and I can throw in super healthy ingredients. Now, don't make the mistake that I know a lot of people make, and that is where they put in way too much fruit. So who sits down and eats let's say somebody might put in a couple of bananas and maybe an apple and, stick in some strawberries. I mean, that might be a horrible combination. I don't know. But let's say somebody threw in that much fruit. Who is ever going to sit down and eat that much fruit if it wasn't put into a smoothie? I mean, that's just way too much. And even though it's fruit, it still contains natural sugars, and it's too much for our body all at once. So don't make that mistake. That is not what a healthy smoothie should be. So I'm talking about making a smoothie that has a minimal amount of fruit in it. And one of my favorites that I make is a chocolatey minty smoothie, and it has 1 banana in it. That is all the fruit that it has in it. The rest of it is just packed with superfoods. And I would be happy to share the recipe with you. You can just comment below and say, or DM me and let me know that you just say smoothie, and I would be happy to send you that smoothie recipe. So better yet, yes, DM me, send me a personal message, and let me just use the word smoothie, and I will send you that smoothie recipe. I think you'll really like it. To be honest, I feel like I'm drinking a chocolate minty milkshake. It is so good, but it is so good for me, and it gives me the energy that I need to get myself through the day. So I have it at noon for lunch, or sometime around lunchtime, and for the rest of the day, I am just energized. I am never, ever without energy. It is incredible. So I would be happy to share that with you. So just send me a personal message, say smoothie, and I will get that to you. So eating healthy is way more than just taking care of our hunger that comes on us. So when our stomach is growling, think about the nourishment that food is going to give us. It's going to help to sustain us and help us to do the things that we have to do. So one of the most important things when you are paying attention to your diet, paying attention to how you should eat, and all of that is to listen to your body. And I say this all the time about so many different things. So if you've listened to me before, you've heard me say this, and I probably sound like a broken record, but it is true. And with food, it is huge. It's hugely important to listen to your body. So what I mean by that is, first of all, when you're trying to decide what diet, what way of eating, and I hate to use the word diet because to me diet can have that connotation of like I'm dieting temporarily so I can lose weight or something, and really it just needs to be more a way of eating. And if you are eating the right way for your body in the right portions and all of that, if you're trying to lose weight, you'll lose weight and you'll have great energy for it, and it's not going to be just a temporary thing, it's going to be a way of life for you. So listen to your body when you are trying to determine what the right foods are. Your body is going to let you know. And what do I mean by that? Well, you're going to be able to tell, do I have more energy after I eat that food? Or do I feel tired and sluggish and like I can hardly drag myself up off the floor? If that's how you're feeling, whatever you just ate is probably not the right thing for you. And pay attention an hour after you eat something. What are you feeling like an hour after? What's your energy like for the rest of the day? And then also pay attention to what your stomach is feeling like. And I am a good one to talk to about this because the weak area of my body has always been my digestive system. And so if I've had something that's not right for me, I'm going to know pretty quickly, whether it's bloating up, having a stomach ache, whatever it might be. I am going to know, but I have to be in tune to know that. So be in tune to your body, listen very carefully so that you know what the right foods are for you to eat. Now, I said we're going to have a little bit of fun here at the end of our time together today. So that's what we're going to do now. And what I am going to do is on the back of this little card here with my little happy face on it, I am going to write a number between 1 and 50, okay? And then I'm going to write it down right now. Okay, I don't think you can see it through the card. I have my number written down on the back of my happy card here. And what I want you all to do is to go ahead and comment below, trying to guess that number. And the number again is 1 to 50, somewhere in between there, okay? And the first person to guess the number that I have written down on my little happy card here is going to be the winner of a little prize I'm going to give away. So, and if nobody guesses it while we're still here on live, what that number is, then I will announce the winner next week because a lot of people come back and watch the replay. So, all right, Alicia has guessed 22, but that's not the number. So keep on guessing. And here's the other thing. You can guess as many times as you want to. You don't have to stop with one number. So if you didn't get it right the first time, no worries. You can guess another number. So Alicia, you can take another stab at it. Regina, 43, and we don't have a winner yet. So we'll keep on going here until we see if somebody gets the right number before we finish up. But if we don't, like I said, we will, a 3, nope, not a 3. But I will be sure to announce who the winner is a little bit later if it isn't today. And next week, we are going to be right back here again, the same time, same place. And we're going to be talking about exercise, okay? So next Tuesday for the Vibrantly Healthy Mom Show, we will be talking about exercise. And this month has been kind of a month where we've been talking about getting our bodies summer ready because we want our bodies to be energetic and able to do all of the things that we want to do in the summertime, hanging out with our families, enjoying activities that we have planned. And the best way to do that is to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves as moms. So, all right, let's see what we've got going on here in the numbers so far. We've got 22, 43, 3, 25, 17. Guys, the number's not there yet, so there's still more guesses to be had. So I am going to leave that with you. This post will still stay up, so you can come back and comment and see if you can guess that number. So it's right here. So if you just think real hard on my little happy card here, maybe you can get it. All right, well, it's been great being with y'all, and I look forward to being here with you again next week. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.